Joining us now from Illinois, Congressman Jan Schakowsky. Congressman Schakowsky, how are you this evening?
Well, I'm feeling great after that speech.
Really? So are you confident now that the president, the White House, is still fully behind a public option, even if it's being called something else in the form of an exchange?
No, the exchange is where you have a choice of private or the one public not-for-profit health insurance. So that still exists, and I believe that the president absolutely is committed to doing it. You know, he says if you've got a better idea of how to hold the insurance companies accountable and hold down costs, then he's willing to consider that, but he thinks that's the best way to do it, and that's what I believe at the end of the day is going to be in the bill.
So a public option, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and now you laid down your own gauntlet. We had Congresswoman Waters on earlier, your colleague. She drew her line in the sand, and you've drawn yours in the past. You said that you will not support legislation that does not have a public option, correct?
You know, I have said that, but I think what we need to focus on now is saying yes. I plan to vote yes for it's not. I'm not looking to vote no on something. I'm looking to vote yes, and I think that plan is going to have a public option. And he made a really good comparison. He was saying that we have public universities and we have vibrant private university system as well. That survive and thrive side by side. One is often more affordable than the other, but that it hasn't stopped the private university and college system. And that's how he sees it. That he's not for getting rid of insurance companies, putting them out of business. But he said he will not back down from providing a health insurance choice that you can afford. And to me, that means that he's going to insist that there be one affordable, for sure, not-for-profit public insurance option.
Now, explain that when we say not-for-profit public insurance option, and he also said that taxpayers wouldn't subsidize. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he added that phrase, not-for-profit, and I think it's a very descriptive phrase. The difference between the public option, the government-sponsored insurance plan, and the private companies is that it is a not-for-profit, whereas the insurance companies are, build in profits for themselves, CEOs' salaries, lots of overhead, people who decide whether or not you're going to get the care that you asked for, all those kinds of things. And so when you have a not-for-profit public plan, they can do it for a more affordable price. It'll be a bargain for consumers. They can choose their insurance company that they like, the name brand, or they can go really for the generic, which is the public insurance option.
What was we couldn't see as much of the audience on television tonight, Congresswoman Schakowsky. What was the sentiment on the other side of that?
Well, actually, there was something that happened tonight that John Dingell said he hadn't seen in the 50 years that he has been in Congress. And that is that someone, when the president said the myth about covering undocumented immigrants in this bill, that we will not, someone yelled out on the Republican side, "You lie."
Yeah.
And
we heard that.
That is just an amazing thing.
Can we find out who that was?
Yeah, do we know who that was?
We don't know for sure who that was. I am certain by later tonight or tomorrow we'll know that name. It was hard for me to see who it was, but everyone heard it, and I think pretty much everyone was stunned.
Disgraceful.
Yeah.
And we talked about why that was an unfair criticism, because illegal immigrants in states already paid for through the Medicaid process from state to state.
Wait, hold on 1 second. It was Joe Wilson from South Carolina.
Really?
And apparently Senator McCain said that he should apologize for what he did immediately.
Yeah. Joe Wilson of South Carolina. Well, I'm glad we know that now. But aside from him, though, is this now going to, as a result of the speech? I'm sure many Democrats are already behind him. Many rational and sane Democrats such as yourself. What about some of these blue? What about some of these blue dogs?
No, I've talked to a bunch of the blue dogs. They are really committed to getting a bill out. We'll be able to gauge just what that means in the days, not even weeks, but in the days ahead. But I think they're actually, despite all the mainstream media and all the naysayers, that there's growing support for a public option. A number of unexpected people rose at the caucus we had this morning and said that they will support and do support the public option. So I'm more optimistic than ever that it'll be there. But I just think, speeches are not votes, but I really think that people were so moved, particularly by the end, which lifted this whole debate beyond just another program, that we have a better chance now than ever.
Can I ask
Rick Rosendahl wanted to ask a quick question.
Yes,
quickly,
Congresswoman. Politically, it seems to me that this could turn out to be, because the president refuted a lot of lies and confusion, and really, I thought, made a persuasive case, and came across in a very strong and muscular way while he was doing it. Could this turn out to be a kind of rope-a-dope strategy where he let the Republicans and the crazies all go nuts, for the summer, and now we're back to school, and now we're going to get serious and do your homework and stop that silliness, and we're not going to let you get away with that? This seems to me to have put wind in the sails of the Democrats and should enable those of you, who've been putting up with these crazy town halls and stuff to really now hit the ground running and go on the offensive. Is that right?
Exactly how I feel. That now we are on offense, not playing defense.
Good. Finally.
And that's when you're playing defense, you're not winning. You're at best holding your own. And so now I do think that we're on offense. He said we're going to call you out if you tell lies and misrepresent the program, and that's exactly what we need. We need help, though, from the media, too. I've been so frustrated that when absolutely goofy ideas like calling them death panels are presented, that it's like, well, that's one opinion, and now the other side says that's not true. No, it's not true at all. And I think that responsible journalism ought to just call it for what it is, not just rely on members of Congress to say, no, that's not the fact. The facts are that it's a perfectly reasonable plan about dealing with end-of-life, and it's all voluntary and optional, and nobody's forced into anything.
Yeah, good point. Let me see. But it is confirmed that it is Joe Wilson.
Yes, I was just handed a note from staff that said it was Joe Wilson of South Carolina, and that Senator McCain has already called on him to apologize and to do it right now.
Either they've dismantled his website or it's already crashed, because you cannot get on it. I'm just trying to get it. Just since you said the name, joewilson.house.gov is unavailable.
That's probably what happened. Everybody's out trying to get there.
Bottom line, now that we're playing offense, last question, Congresswoman, are we going to, if necessary, still seek this bipartisanship, or are you, the Democrats, ready to go ahead and do this yourselves?
Well, I absolutely think that that we're going to do it ourselves if we have to. Right. If the Republicans are willing to be part of a constructive discussion, they're willing at the end of the day to vote for it. See, they throw up all this stuff, and then at the end they say, but, we're not going to vote for it anyway. No, forget it. He told them straight out, and you say you couldn't see it, but he stared them down. Right. I loved that.
Right.
Yeah, he certainly did.
I could feel it. Yeah.
Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, always a pleasure. We'll do another conversation soon on CIA and intelligence too.
Oh, good. I hope so.
Yeah,
good.
we need to do that, because a lot has come out since last we chatted about that. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Okay.
Okay. Thanks so much.
God bless you. You take care of yourself.